Charles Oliveira versus Ilia Topuria is happening this weekend at UFC 317. Let's break it down. This is most definitely my fight of the year. These are two of my favorite fighters in the UFC, and it sucks that I have to see one of them lose, but I think this is going to be an amazing fight. These guys are all action, super explosive, super dangerous early on, and I bet whoever wins this fight is probably going to get a finish pretty early on. What Ilia Topuria has done in the last couple of years is simply sensational. Honestly, there's no other way to put it. Knocking out Volk, knocking out Max, that's legendary shit. And now he's going up to lightweight and he wants to claim a second belt. And in front of him, he has a very dangerous opponent in Charles Oliveira. A guy who in the last couple of years hasn't really had things go his way, of course, against Arman Tsarukyan and then against Islam Makhachev before that. Lately, he did have a win against Michael Chandler. That's his most recent win. Not the most of impressive wins at this point in 2025 with Michael Chandler, but either way, a win's a win, and now he's looking to reclaim his title after Islam Makhachev has left, which is the big narrative heading into this fight, and it's going to be for whoever wins the belt. I mean, they technically didn't take it off the champion in Islam Makhachev, who vacated his title to go up to 170, so some people are going to be saying it's a fluky win, it's a Mickey Mouse title, a lot of stuff like that, but I don't believe any of that. This is a great fight between two of the best lightweights in the world, and they're going to show it. We know what Topuria's game is, and we know what Charles's game is at this point. Topuria is going to want to keep this on the feet, look for a KO, and Charles is going to probably want to bring this to the ground to try and find a submission. Topuria hits like a truck, and we know this, and I think he's going to carry that power really well to 155 because he's a small, stubby kind of dude, stocky, keeps a lot of his power condensed, so I think moving up isn't going to hurt him. And Charles Oliveira, we know his chin is kind of questionable. I mean, he hasn't been flat out KO'd as of late, but he's been rocked and he's been put down, and that's really dangerous, especially when you're fighting a guy like Ilia. Charles's usual game plan I don't think is going to work in this fight. He usually loves coming out on the front foot, putting forward the pressure and trying to put the ball in his opponent's court. But with a guy like Ilia, a sharpshooter, a sniper, a guy who carries that type of power, you can't just go in the pocket with him and try and exchange, because chances are you'll probably lose. Charles is going to have to keep him at a distance. He's going to have to abuse those teep kicks, abuse those knees, and use his jab to keep his distance from Ilia at all times. And then he's going to have to go in for a takedown and try and get a submission off on Ilia, because honestly, that's the only way I see him winning this fight. I don't think he can win it over 25, and I don't think he can win it on the feet. Ilia's key to victory is going to be allowing Charles to come in and close the distance, because that's where he's going to do his best work. I think this is a terrible matchup for Charles Oliveira. This is a guy who hits really hard and he can wrestle. Not a good formula for success if you're Charles. That being said, I don't want to completely count him out in this fight. A lot of people are already writing off Charles. I mean, the bookmakers definitely are. They have him as like a 4-1 underdog right now, which is wild. But I also see where people are coming from. I mean, Ilia Topuria, the guy's special. What he's done and what he continues to do is unprecedented, and he has a lot of power, and a lot of people have seen this story too many times with Charles. So I don't blame people for picking Ilia, because I mean, I am going to be picking Ilia if you haven't guessed yet, so I don't blame them, but don't count out Charles. Ultimately, though, I think it's just going to be too much for him. I think Ilia, over 25 minutes against anybody in the world, really can find that one shot to put you away. He's extremely dangerous. He's on the come up. He's still hungry because he's chasing gold in another division, and he's in the prime of his career. Charles, he's on the back end of his career, and the era we had with Charles a few years back where he was on his crazy title run was honestly one of the best moments in UFC history. Charles is a legend, one of my favorite fighters, but I just don't see him winning this fight. My official prediction is going to end up being Ilia Topuria to win this fight via KO. I think Charles is going to come in. I think he's going to try and put the pressure on Ilia, and it's going to backfire on him. I think Ilia is going to clip him. Potentially, it might just take one shot, but I could see him clipping him, dropping Charles, and as most people would be afraid to engage with Charles on the ground, Ilia is not going to be. He's going to follow up with some ground and pound and finish the fight. There you guys have it, though. Those are my thoughts. Let me know if you guys agree with me in the comments down below. Drop your picks as well. I'll see you all in the next one.